everybody. Okay, so this is actually for the kids. Most parents can't read that. Can the kids read that? Anybody read a line or two? Okay. What do you got? What can you read? It's okay. Any line. Which one? Third one? Don't know? Okay. All right. Okay. It's okay. Okay. Which one can you read?
Number 6. Don't kill people.
All right. Okay. Don't kill people. All right. Okay. Okay. And?
No, oh my God.
No, oh my God. Okay. All right. Okay. So the kids can read this, but this is English. But this is modern English. This is what the kids practice writing all the time. Okay?
Oh.
Let me just explain. I got to move on. Okay. So the translation is actually, this is what, these are the 10 commandments that most people in Canada know about, okay? So 80% of Canada is Christian. So for us Chinese, we're kind of like foreigners in this land. So they speak this. The kids speak this language, and that's why kids have problems in school. They practice this all the time on Discord. Teachers want this. So that's why we need to help them. Okay? So today I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we do for the writing course, and also a little bit about the summer camp. Okay? So my name is Bain. I came from China as an immigrant. I was 11 when I got here. I went to ESL. I struggled. I put the hard work in, and I went to U of T. Then I got a chance to go to MIT. So it's been a really great journey. I also worked in pharmaceuticals for almost 20 years. But I'm so glad that I got a chance to upgrade and do something in education. When I do pharmaceuticals, the drugs don't talk back. When I work with kids, it is so rewarding. When I go home, I get to talk about what the kids are talking about, writing about to my wife. And they're so happy to hear the stories that the kids create. It is absolutely the most rewarding thing I can do in my life. So, in this course, what we hope to do is to inspire the students to express themselves with...
What is that?
Sorry.
Okay, so these are the 3 qualities that are the most important. These are the 3 qualities that Warren Buffett would ask people when he hires them, okay? These are the most important, okay? So 1, intelligence. It's pretty obvious. If you get good marks, you're pretty smart. 2, if you make an impact. That means you gotta do stuff. You can't just sit home and play games. You need to make an impact. So when I was in high school, I took the opportunity to play basketball, to join the computer club, the science club, the chess club, and be captain of a few things. It's really important because I help you get into university and be ready for what university requires of you. It's a lot of hard work. And then Warren Buffett says the most important thing that students can bring is actually their integrity. You can kind of understand why Warren Buffett thinks that that's the most important, because he runs a billion-dollar company, and he can't have anybody who's a cheat or a liar. Okay? He's taking care of other people's money, so we need people who are honest. You can show integrity very easily. You have to show up on time because you promised to be there. You you have to deliver what you promised to do, do it. Those are very simple things. Show up and do what you promised to do. These are little things that makes a huge difference. So here, it's very obvious at SpeechCo, all the teachers really care about the students. During COVID, there was, when we were online, there was one student that I had that was really not doing well during online class because kids can't really adapt to it. So I paid him a visit at his house. So I drove out to Scarborough to his house and I just talked to him for like an hour. I really had no goals in mind, but it showed to him that I cared. Whether he was going to turn around and be a good student or not, what I wanted to do was just show him that I cared about him. And over a few years, he is a much better student. Being back in person helps, but I think he feels that people care about him, and it makes a difference. When your teachers care about you, you put in a lot more effort. So our classes are actually very relaxed. It's not like a normal, grueling school class. We use a different approach. We use kind of a Finland method. Finland is the opposite of the Chinese method. So in China, you gotta memorize and do it. You do the work, homework, memorize, and study. The Finland method taps into kids' curiosity. Kids want to learn. You just need to help them, point them in the right direction, and they'll just learn it themselves. You don't have to push them. They run if you let them, give them a chance. So at SpeechCo, our focus is about communication, right? And I learned in business, when I was learning to work well in business. I learned this from project management. Okay, so 20% of what you say is what people hear. The rest is actually body language. If you smile at them, they'll feel better and actually listen to you. If you're mad at them, first thing they do is they close up and they don't want to listen to you. So how you present yourself is really important. Also, the things that you choose to talk about is really important. If you don't give yourself a proper introduction and get everybody comfortable, people don't want to listen. Think about it like this. If you're talking about something to your friends want to listen to you, right? If you're saying something to your enemies want to close your ears and just ignore you, right? So when you want to say something, the most important thing you can do is make a friend first. And you start to say something. So here in the writing classes, we offer different grades all the way up to high school. And we start in grade 3 and 4. And we try to build a wall, okay? So at the beginning, we get the little kids. First, we want to get them to be interested in reading, okay? They first need to have the interest. A lot of kids don't want to read a book. What do they want to read? They want to read comic books. Is that good? Kids, do you like comic books? Okay, yes, the kids like comic books. Do you think comic books are bad, parents? In my opinion, comic books are great. What we need is actually give them a reading habit. When I was young, I loved comic books. That's all I read. Every comic book I could find, I would look through it. My parents didn't stop me. They were so busy, they didn't even see that I was reading, okay? But when I got older, I looked at the comic books like, this is too simple, not good enough for me. Then I went to a real book. No one made me read a real book because I had the habit of reading. That's the first habit we need to foster, that they want to read. Give them something good to read, and they'll develop the habit of reading. So as we go through the different levels, different grades, we add to it. And in the end, by high school, we're going full tilt on all the important things that they need to know for high school to get them ready for university. Okay? So I'm going to give you 2 tips today. One is, why would you want to send your kids to a really expensive private school? You know, those are private schools that cost you a lot of money. Why are they different from public schools? So in my simple way of analyzing it, you pay for good private schools because they're preparing your kids to graduate from university, not from high school. You can get into university, but graduating from university is the hardest thing. A lot of kids quit the first year or fail the first year because it's really hard. Private schools usually are very challenging, but what they're trying to do is prepare you for university so that you can graduate. Your 4 years at university is the hardest thing you're going to do, and if you're not ready, you will struggle. The other thing I'm going to give you a tip for is I learned this from a school teacher. They said, why is it so hard to get an A+ in English? You write your essay, it's a great essay. Why can't you get an A+? Why did they never give out an A+ when you were in high school for English? It's very simple. What the teachers expect you to write is like a university student. That is the best essay you can write, like a university level essay. But you're not ready yet. So to get an A+, you didn't write like a university student. But you haven't learned all the skills to get there. That's why it's so hard. So they think differently in university. So in high school, you read a book and you write a book report, you think you talk about the book, right? That's not what they do in university. In university, they talk about everything that the book is related to. So you just talk about, things that you learn, that you can relate to. That's what brings you the insight and knowledge that they want. So when you look at a marking scheme in high school, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 is bad, 2 is okay, 3 is good, 4 is excellent. Okay? To get 3, you need to have knowledge. And to get a 4, you need to have insight, in which you need to know more than what they give you. You need to find things from outside to bring in. So in our class, we try to bring that kind of experience and habit to the students. Okay? So we do a lot of discussion and get them to think about the story, but outside of the story, how it's related to things. So let me first talk about the students find the class to be interesting. So one student said that when they did Romeo and Juliet in school, it was boring. But when we talked about it and studied it in our class, in writing class, it was fun for them. It's because we want to tap into the curiosity, explain things to them that they can understand at their level. And because the class is smaller, we can have better interaction and get them to understand. So it's actually, things are relevant to them. Okay? So in a typical class, first, I teach through short stories. I have a collection of over 200 short stories, and most of them, are at the level of the kids that they can handle. Okay? So I won't give like a grade 3 or 4 or something that's high school level and talk about discrimination and the big kids issues. Kids, when they're young, they want to talk about food, games, friends. When you're older, you'll talk about issues, but we have to build up to them. We got to get them to get used to doing certain things. First of all, you need to read, understand, and I get them to take notes. This is a really, really important skill. Okay? Because a lot of students actually will read something and then, I don't remember what I read. Well, note-taking is a skill. We have to teach that. So a lot of students actually find it's actually very rewarding, and it helps them in class when they actually figure out how to take notes. But we have to analyze the story. I usually ask them, think about it, figure out what happened, when and where, who did what, and then why. There's usually a point to the story. So, who is the characters, when and where is the setting of the story, what happens in the story is the plot, and why, and that's the theme of the story. usually these are things that the school wants you to think about when you look at a story. And then after that, we get the kids to write their own, okay? We use the theme or something from the story that's kind of a prompt. We get the students to write something they want to write about. So it's not like a school just assigns you a topic to write. The students usually pick something that they can express, an idea that they can express related to the story. So for most students, it's actually pretty comfortable. It's not hard for them. It's all about practice. So the philosophy I have is that stories support essays. I've seen essays that talk about a theme and just reiterate the theme 3 times, and 3 different paragraphs reiterate the theme without any examples, and they call it quits. That's not very helpful. You need to support your arguments, and it requires to tell a story. What happens to if you talk about something, you need to give a story. This is what happened, and I'm going to talk about that. And from that, you make a conclusion. So if you can't tell a story, you can't really have any arguments in your essay. So if you can put together 3 good stories that are grouped together in a theme that'll support your essay, that's a good start. So one of the most important things in my class that I value is that we give good feedback to the students. They will try, and then we give them, this is what you wrote, and this is what I understood. Give you feedback on how you think about it, talk about different themes. Now, the most important thing is we give them encouragement. We don't say to them, this is bad, that's bad. We do it from a point of encouraging you for next time how to do a better job. We try not to say to them, this is a bad job. Never. Okay? We never say this is it's a bad job. In fact, what I usually say to them is, that's a good effort. But we can do better next time. Now, Tristan talked about swimming, okay? And I am a swimmer. It's taken me like over 10 years to figure out how to swim decent swimming, okay, for speed. Next month, I'm going to Perry Sound. I'm going to swim 2 kilometers in a race. So that's 2,000 meters. The thing about swimming is, no matter how much you read about swimming, watch videos, until you get in the pool, it doesn't do anything, okay? You get in the pool and you realize the water's really thick. It's really hard to go fast. And then you realize, I'm doing something wrong. And then you practice. It's taken me over a decade to kind of get better and better and better. So how much improvement do you think I can get out of a practice? To improve 1 minute in time for 100 meters, I used to swim 3 minutes per 100 meters. Now I'm swimming 2 minutes per 100 meters. That's considered decent speed if I want to go to the distance. But to improve those 60 seconds, okay, it's taken roughly 10 years of effort. And I've watched hundreds of YouTube about how to do it. Watching a YouTube doesn't do anything until you get in the pool and try it. Does it work? Maybe it doesn't. Sometimes it screws you up. What it really helps is actually have a coach tell you, you're doing this not right, this will help you, do this, it'll be much easier. With a coach, it's so much easier because you cannot see yourself. Where did your arm go? Your coach can see, but you don't know. Where does your legs do? You cannot see yourself. Your coach can. An outside point of view can really help. So kids really appreciate feedback. They think they said something, and then I tell them, this is what I got from what you said. And they realize, I need to say it in a different way. That is the most valuable feedback I give to kids. So the kids give me feedback, okay? So we do a variety of topics, almost anything goes in my writing class as long as it's related to writing. Like, we do math and science and geography and history, biography, essays, fiction. So almost anything. And one student said that it helped them with science. One student said that she got better on taking notes. And David said that he improved and he got better marks for it. one girl named Vanessa, her mom was quite happy to see her improve. She was happy to see that Vanessa wrote her a letter for Mother's Day. We do care about people in this course, and you know, when we demonstrate to the kids that we care, they pick it up. And also, I think it says that after the writing course, her Chinese improved. Her Chinese writing, because the method that she learned, she applied organizing the method to her Chinese writing and improved her Chinese writing. So now, let me just talk a little bit about the summer camp, okay? So, during the summer camp, we have 1 week, we have 4 weeks in July. They're broken into 1 week chunks. So, we don't run the same writing course like we do during the year, where it's 16 weeks. During the summer camp, we want to do something that's a little bit more engaging and fun for the kids. So when COVID hit, what I thought about to do, because we were all stuck at home, I created a course that's book and movie camp. Okay? So during summer camp, we're going to do this here in person, book and movie camp, during the segments where we do writing. Okay? We're going to do public speaking and writing. And the writing, we focus on a book based, and the book will have a movie attached to it. So you watch the movie, you read the book, and you learn from the book, from the movie. The movie helps you understand all the difficult things. Much easier to understand once you watch the movie, but the book has so much more detail. So after we do that, we do analysis, we have lots of fun games. But I want to show you the product of what the kids did after they have completed the camp. This is one of the things that they did. This was the high school class. This year, we don't have a high school class, we only have 2 camps. We don't have space for 2 camps for the younger kids. But the students, after they have completed their Hunger Games camp, okay, this is what they produced. This slide was produced by the students. Okay? They read 3 books, watched 3 movies. They read the trilogy for 1,800 pages over the 3 weeks they were here. And at the end, they produced this slide to show that they understood the plot and understood the story. And I'm actually very, very proud of them to come up with this slide showing all the different characters in the story, plus the best summary of the plot for the Hunger Games. This slide is precious. To be able to put that slide together shows real understanding of what the entire trilogy is about. These kids had a great time. So, in our book and movie camp, the kids will actually understand the movie, understand the book, and when they come back, we engage them in a lot of activities that requires to show that they understand through art. Sometimes, if we can help it through music, they have to learn the geography, okay, to be able to say, this story happened where. Talk about the time period, history, the society of the time, when technology is involved, what people's ideas were. This story is really, this whole story is about a dystopian world in the future where the world has been destroyed and rebuilt. So different ideas. So they have to think outside of the box and talk. So I liken it to it's almost like a university level kind of a discussion where you can talk about anything you want and you gotta pull in ideas from outside and contribute to a class. And they also do writing. So by the end of the week, we expect the students to have gone to the movie, read a book, and to be able to produce some writing about the movie or the book. About the characters, or the plot, or their opinion about the movie. So we try to engage them in things that they want to talk about. So the kids had a great fun, and we've done this actually for a few years, and every year the kids choose their own movies, mostly from Disney Plus or Netflix. It's usually the movie that comes with a book. The kids choose for themselves, okay? I don't make them pick a movie. I just offer them the different movies that are available that has a book, and then they pick from it. So for your students out there, you have a choice. You just vote. You show up on the first day, you vote for a movie, and we'll 花者. Okay, so that's all I have to tell you a little bit about the movie. So I'm gonna have Vivian come back up and tell you a little bit more